I love doing these shows. It seems like once every other year I get to join Paul and Annie and have an evening of it. We used to be in a jug band that just was a jug band. There were people who were unhappy that spoonful tunes were not involved. But we broke them in slowly. And now what we have here tonight is a kind of a hybrid audience, I know. So we're going to try to get to everything. Let's tap that thing. I'm satisfied, tingle too. I'm old enough to marry you. I'm satisfied. It's gonna bring you back. I'm satisfied, tingle too. I'm old enough to marry you. I'm satisfied that it can bring you back. Yeah. I wear my dress up above my knees. I give my total to who I please. I'm satisfied. It's gonna bring me back. I'm satisfied. Tingle too. I'm old enough to marry you. I'm satisfied. Then it can bring you back. Yeah, first in the country, then in town. I'm a total old shaker from my hips on down. I'm satisfied. It's gonna bring me back. I'm satisfied. Tingle too. I'm old enough to marry you. I'm satisfied. Then it can bring you back. So much of our inspiration comes from some of these great old guys that we all got to hear when we were in our late teens and early 20s, and it pretty much ruined our academic careers. Pretty much, yeah. I had gotten it down already. I was about 18, and I reduced my life to working in this Italian guitar shop where nothing too dangerous. All I did was sand these Puerto Rican requintos all day. That was my job. So, I've been at NYU for a few months now, and I realized I was going to have to, cut down on something. I'm going to have to eliminate an aspect of what I was doing. And, so it was pretty much the guitar shop and hanging out, watching John Hurt, and NYU. So long, NYU. Now, Grandpa Johnny, he was showing. Oh, by the way, I love it if you, right up here up front, participated as an audience instead of a producer. Here's the thing. Now, I'll be frank. I get self-conscious. And when I get self-conscious, I start keeping track of the time. I don't want to have one of those shows. Johnny, he was short and stout. You could hear him grouch outside of his mouth. He yelled at you around the side of the house. He said, just don't stop till you're all worn out. Now my pal Terry, he's a roustabout. He can slam that piano till the poop comes out. He keeps on pounding till the people shout. They say, just don't stop till you're all worn out. Don't stop. And this is your part right here. Don't stop. Don't stop. I say, just don't stop till you're all worn out. Jungle at the end of the drought. All the monkeys wonder what the drought's about. As they crowd towards the water, they've been known to shout. They say, just don't stop till you're all worn out. Don't stop, don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. I say, just don't stop till you're all worn out. Well, you know, this perfect moment in Greenwich Village, really a lot of what was happening was folk music. And a number of us who had kind of tired of the top 40 is what had happened, because the top 40 had really turned into a super produced atmosphere, and these were some really pretty guys, Italian guys from Philadelphia. You gotta give it to them, you know? But we were searching for something else. So I had been working as an accompanist with Freddie Neal. And Timmy Hart was another frequent victim of mine. And actually, those two guys are probably responsible for my being a singer-songwriter, both because of their inspirational qualities and also because they wouldn't show up on time. And that was always when they go, hey, Sebastian, go. You just hold them until we get like somebody good. Okay. That was my gig, and I'm really happy. But things were changing as we were all playing together. We weren't really doing what was strictly folk music. It was some kind of a sideways hybrid thing, and man, we thought we were fabulous. We had been playing exactly a week. This is the wonder of youth, isn't it? It really is. So we were totally surprised when the club owner comes up to us. People are now leaving at the end of the night. And this is a very small club. You have to imagine that this club is cut off after the first table. That's all. Now, so literally, there's the wall. So you're trying to cover. It was a really odd situation, but we were making the most of it. We had Zalyanovsky, this fantastic performer and great guitar player. But one of the things he provided was this comical atmosphere where you could make mistakes and nobody would be pissed because he was so funny. On this particular night, the club owner, still a friend of mine, but at that time he was pretty scary. He comes over to the edge of the stage and he says, "Guys, come here. Now, I'm Italian, and I know that when an Italian guy says, 'Come here,' that's not good, especially with a lip thing. So I know we're in trouble already, but I tell you, I'm not going to back off." He goes, "So, fellas, here's the problem. You guys are, fucking good. So, you're killing people with this amplifier. What is this what is it? You got this thing up his lap. Look, these people, you're killing these people in the front row. And Joe, you're playing that cymbal like it was that's supposed to be what you do on the hi-hat. You're doing it on the crash ride. It's like, my sound system, it can't do it. John, you gotta look up. You can't just look at your feet. I know you have the lyrics down there because you haven't memorized them. But you're supposed to look out at the crowd. Steve, you're good. And I'm really sorry, fellas, but I gotta fire you. Okay. Well, we quickly found other work at a lousier club. And this was the Cafe Bazaar. Mainly, no village people in the Cafe Bazaar. It was only 2 blocks down, but the only people that would occupy it were, pretty much tourists from Dayton. Which, I make fun, but this turned out to be the best possible audience because Greenwich Village, the only thing was that everybody was getting segmented into these various musical disciplines. One group only likes old-timey music, the other guy's bluegrass, the other guys with matching shirts, then the really old-timey guys that just like, it would just be this chord for hours and hours and hours, which it really is a harbinger of bad things, this chord. It is. Because you think, it's just going to be a friendly little song, about somebody happens to go down by the riverside. What could happen? Just a little trip. I took a walk, just a little walk down beside where the waters flow. So you get to know this. So it didn't matter what the guys say, one night in the month of May, all the little bunnies came out to play, out to play, out to play. All the little bunnies came out to play. And bad things are happening to the bunnies. And in the next verse, it's gonna happen. Well, we were making fun of all of these different groups, and I don't know why, except that we felt like we had this hybrid thing that we were trying to get across, and we wanted to sound like the Beatles, sure, but we also wanted to sound like Buck Owens and Elmore James all at the same time. Well, this club had a jukebox. And the jukebox would play, and sometimes when we were finally ready to do our stuff, we'd turn it down. But in the meantime, we'd be hearing stuff like Heat Wave.
Thank you.
And I just used to love those chords. I said, man, what is that? Is that like, it keeps repeating itself. You could do it all night. I said, and I have to write a song with these changes somehow. I remember thinking, well, I could write it maybe a little different because we wouldn't want people to think I was plagiarizing. But I remember I finally figured out that, hey, I could do this. I could change the tuning on the auto harp. That'd be the thing. So the first chord would be, and then the next chord would be that. Hey, wait a minute, we're going to be there in a second. Okay. And I thought maybe if I just changed it so it like went twice as fast, maybe people would mistake it for being twice as good. Magic in a young girl's heart, how the music can free her whenever it starts, and it's magic if the music is groovy and makes you feel happy like an old time movie. I tell you about the magic, it can free your soul, but it's like trying to tell the street about rock and roll. If you believe in magic, don't bother to choose if it's just bad music or rhythm and blues. Just go and listen. It'll start with a smile. Won't wipe off your face no matter how hard you try. Your feet start tapping. You can't see the fire. Now you got there. So just blow your mind. Believe in magic, come along with me. We'll dance until morning, till there's just you and me. And maybe if the music is right, I'll meet you tomorrow sort of late at night. And we'll go dancing, baby, then you'll see how the magic's in the music and the music's in you, yeah. Believe in magic. Believe in the magic of a young girl's soul. Believe in the magic of a rock and roll. Believe in the magic that can set you free. Yeah, yes, I'm talking about the magic. And weren't there like some stone guys singing, believe like a believe in magic. Well, remarkably, that tune changed our lives. We had been playing, only Greenwich Village, and now here we were expanding to a bigger world. We're playing high schools in Queens. It was big, and we were happy too. And all of a sudden, we started reading Billboard and Cashbox. And by golly, this song started to rise on the charts. And I mean, it was startling. It was really, really surprising. We were having such fun, but we really didn't expect to get into the bigger musical world quite that fast. But something here it was. We had tickets to go to San Francisco. Unbelievable. And we're imagining, God, man, it's gonna be like The Hate. Yeah. With all the girls doing those non-specific type dances. And boy, well, we did. We went to San Francisco. We get the rent-a-car. We're driving along. We see the marquee in front of us. We know it's the club, but we really have to get close because the big print says Topless Maria. And the loving spoonful, teeny print. No. This isn't gonna dissuade us. We're coming into this club to do severe damage. We really want this to go well. Okay, get inside, take the instruments out, start playing a set. Hey, we sound pretty good. Oh, there's an element that we had not anticipated. It does seem like Topless Maria is going to dance while we're singing. And we changed in a flash. Here we thought we were big badasses, and all it takes is one naked woman dancing next to you, and all of a sudden we turn back into a folkie. And Topless Maria is kind of looking at us funny. So at the end of the show, she comes and says, so fellas, I'm betting you guys never bumped a stripper. Now, we don't know, is that like a sexual insult? Or what? And she quickly explains, no, this is, bumping a stripper is following her motions. It's letting her dictate the tempo and the flow of the music. And this sounds like a funny thing, but Elvis's first really important drummer was DJ Fontana. They asked him one time, how come you were instantly so good at playing with Elvis? And he said, well, that is easy because I had all this experience bumping strippers. And that's what, you're accenting her movements. We actually became big pals with Topless Maria, who of course turned out to be, a single mom raising 2 kids and doing the slogging along, trying to keep above water. But she was a terrific woman, and we got to know her, and actually years later, actually it wasn't her, was it? I'm now remembering that we turned up that first really famous topless dancer working in a underwear store. There wasn't a punchline there, it just is how it happened. But Maria began to introduce us to everybody that worked on the strip. And indeed, because of Zal Yanofsky's great gift of gab, by the end of the week, The place was stuffed with strippers. It was all the folks that worked up and down this Broadway. And it's not, this one isn't pronounced Broadway. It's not. So we would have these wonderful evenings where everybody would end up in our hotel room and lots of laughs and so on. And really quite innocent because we had to work the next night, so. But I remember I got a call in my hotel room from Kama Sutra Records. Always, when you want to compete with the Beatles and the Beach Boys and Capitol and RCA, and go with Kama Sutra Records. Good scheme. And but they had some guys who were just great pickers of hits. They knew it when they heard it, and that was their gift, and that's a gift that has escaped most record companies in modern times. But I'm on the phone with the Ripper. So it was Artie Rip. Yeah, Artie, how are you? Good, John. Look, the record, well, it's leveling off. Well, to get right down to it, I guess it's starting to make a decline now. John, we need another single. And this was a revelation to me. I had never taken this idea that far. You get to do a follow-up single. Yeah. And then right after I had that revelation, I realized, and we don't have such a song. Nothing that could follow magic. What are we gonna do? And I probably would have, I might have just sort of sunk down with the Cats together off the charts and never to be heard from, except that Steve Boone, our bass player, showed up in the hotel room one night and he goes, so I got this thing, and it's not a song, John, it's a thing, it's just a thing. And he plays me the thing, and I go, Stephen, that's not a thing. That's a song, and we're gonna have it finished in 15 minutes. And that was just about the way it played out with Stephen's really cool song. Always, if you're gonna try to have a follow-up 45 single, do it with a bass player. Because he's gonna give you the cool bass line. So nice, I would have liked you anyway. If you had just looked once or twice and gone upon your quiet way. They said the time was right for me to follow. I knew I'd find you in a day or two. Quiet day, you simply seemed to take your place. I knew that it would be that way the minute that I saw your face. wonder if I get to say you didn't have to be so nice. I would have liked you anyway. Today said the time was right for me to follow you. I knew I'd find you in a day or two, and it's true, you didn't have to be so nice. I would have liked you anyway. I see people, they're tempted to attempt the background part, but they're unsure. You see, because I'm just thinking that maybe one more time, you didn't have to be so nice. I would, there we are, anyway. If you had just slipped once or twice and gone upon your quiet way. Well, at this point, we could have kept up with that forever, it felt like. You know, every 3-4 months, another single, it's gonna work out fine. But what we didn't anticipate was that the music business changed. Right, bang, right then. All of a sudden, it wasn't 45s, it was albums. That's right. Songwriters see those as 6 songs and 6 songs. That's what it looks like to us. And again, I didn't really have any remarkably good ideas. And luckily, I started recalling a moment in my past, which was a summer and fall in which I was part of a little jug band. Now, we weren't up to the Jim Kweskin standards. I want to make that clear right away. We were the junior jug band, and just sort of trying to learn along the way. Well, we're listening to these records like Harry Smith's Anthology, which was a record, it was really interesting. What Harry Smith had done was take a whole bunch of records that everybody had forgotten about because they were pretty far back. And he actually released them without any kind of credit to the authors or the artists. Kind of like now. So this was marvelous, and we started hearing all this really cool stuff. I like anything that starts. And Gus Cannon, he was central to all of this because he had this great tune, Walk Right In, Set Right Down. That's Gus Cannon's tune, that's right. And he also composed the Prison Wall Blues, and that went like this. Now my head is hanging down with those prison wall blues. The white people made me act a cockeyed clown. Now I got no time to lose. When they put you behind that gate, you wish you hadn't done it. Honey, now it's too late. I got the prison wall blues. Keep keep rolling across my mind. And folks, it really was amazing how short a time it was between hearing that tune and composing an entirely original piece of material. She's one of those girls who seems to come in the spring. One look in her eyes and you forget everything you had ready to say. And I saw her today, yeah. A younger girl who keeps rolling across my mind. No matter how much I try, I can't seem to leave a memory behind. I remember her eyes, soft, dark and brown. Said she'd never been in trouble, not even in town. A younger girl keeps rolling across my mind. And should I hang around, acting like her brother? In a few more years they'd call us right for each other. And why? If I wait, I'll just die. Yeah, a younger girl keeps rolling across my mind. No matter how much I try, I can't seem to leave a memory behind. I remember her eyes, soft, dark and brown. Said she'd never been in trouble, not even in town. A younger girl keeps rolling across my mind. Yes, a younger girl keeps rolling across my mind. Anticipated that far back that I'd be doing this tune long enough for it to be creepy. So now I'm playing for a lot of folks my age. One of my contemporaries described it as old people and their parents. But every now and then I actually end up with a kid in the audience, and one of them came up after a show and he just stood at the side of the stage and looking from one instrument to the other one until he had my attention, and he goes, "Why do you need two?" And I realized that, that isn't all that clear. I mean, a lot of folks think a guitar is a guitar, but of course, once you get into it, you realize they are very much individual creatures. I'm still thinking about you when you're not under my hands. It's so quiet without you. I'm only most of a man. but somewhere under a spotlight, or stuck up under a bed, there's a bucket of dreams in a box, or just a dream in your head. Is it lost in a pawn shop, or somewhere broken apart? We'll put them all back together with the strings of your heart. Is it something your dad gave you? Is it older than that? Is it brand new right out of the box? Did it bust you flat? Did it belong to your first big hero back when he was getting his start? There ain't nothing like music when you play on the strings of your heart. That music coming down the street, I really have to depart, but I'll be waiting to hear you play on the strings of your heart. Yeah, I'll be waiting to hear you play on the strings of your heart. Well, you know what? I mean, that period was such a terrific moment, and we all had so much fun. And I guess I was going to have to face this sooner or later, that there are periods, if you're going to play music like for life, you're going to go in and out of favor at different times, and you could really become wildly out of fashion, like I was. Yeah. You get into the sort of middle 70s. And what was happening was a friendship that developed with me and some Canadian animators. Now these guys called me up cold, and they said, look, we're making these half-hour cartoons in Canada, and you are perfect. But, you know, it wasn't like I had other work, so I was, yeah, let's go, what? And they said, well, we've found that Americans tend to watch animated features during holidays. I could get that. You know, you put kids in front of the TV before you could say what was going to come on, and let them watch TV. They said, so we're working on intergalactic Thanksgiving. And we're hoping you could, yeah, well, sure. Intergalactic Thanksgiving can do that. And they just finished Cosmic Christmas, and let's see, they were coming to Easter Fever. I'm sorry, am I interrupting your, I don't know, people pay money and then they do their own. I hope it's not dangerous or scary or anything. So, these guys, they keep throwing stuff at me. And then the next one, I think, was Easter Fever. and they had hired Garrett Morris to play the Easter Bunny in this cartoon. I said, okay, Garrett Morris, the Easter Bunny. All right. And the premise, again, they say, yeah, the premise is the Easter Bunny is quitting his job. He's looking for a replacement. The time flies by so swiftly when you're having fun, delivering those Easter eggs, but now my time is done. I'm going up to the country, my egg hunt days are through. I'd like to quit while I'm ahead like all good champions do. So please don't worry about me, baby, I'll be in good hands. I'm packing up my basket to give someone else a chance, 'cause Easter been very good to me. Don't think of which of you it just might be. I'll tell you quite confidentially that Easter been very good to me. Well, these guys were so funny because, you know, you grow up, you think that you're going to meet heads of corporations and they're going to be like, you know, these are reputable people, these are serious men and women and so on. And these guys were nutcakes. The two of them, and the one, no, it was a great combo because the one comes on like Captain Serious, you know, he's presenting the facts, but the other guy that's the in many cases the creator of these, and he's behind the other guy and he's going like this. Whoa. Well, I realized that they had called me this one time because they were really excited. And they said, John, you can't believe it, eh? We've got ourselves the Care Bears. So now they want a song for the Care Bears. And by the way, if any parents of children in the 80s, I'd apologize right now. Because I was also involved in some strawberry shortcake that I'm not proud of. I know you're thinking that nobody cares. You got some feelings you don't want to share. But if your troubles stay all stuck inside, they're gonna grow till they're too big to hide. So don't go sticking by your own sweet self. You've gotta take a chance on someone else. That's what it's all about, just being friends. And take a chance on loving again. So tell me now, and let me show you where. When you think nobody cares, nobody cares like a bear. I guess guess it's somewhere in here that I get a call from Burbank. Now, at this point, I've moved out to Los Angeles. I'm living in Laurel Canyon, and everything is good, but I'm semi-broke. But I get this call, and I can tell right away the guy on the phone is not from California. No. This guy's from Brooklyn. And he's a producer and a co-creator of this project that he describes. He says, well, me and Gabe Kaplan got together, and Gabe has this act that he does live on stage, and it's a little rough, but I think if we tone it down, we can get ourselves a television show out of this idea. And I thought, wow, wonderful. And so it's called Cotter. I said, please don't make me write a song called Cotter. Please. Because, I mean, what are the rhymes? Otter? Nothing really clicks with this. So I said, let me just take this. I'll take it home. I'll give you an idea maybe soon, and you can tell me if I'm on the right track. I go home, and I've got one of these sophisticated rigs, one nasty ancient cassette deck that you can dump it onto a boom box and go back again. So by now, but I would get these little toy records out of it, and I had enough by the next day to go back to Burbank, and I play this for these guys, and they listen, and by now the suits are in on this now. So it's already screwed up. Because, see, the thing is, by now, me and the Brooklyn guy have become pals. So what do Manhattanites and Brooklynites do? Insult each other. So we're insulting each other. The guys from California are looking, is our deal falling apart? Is that what's happening? And so I take the song. Actually there were a pilot and a couple of scripts, and I take them home and got an idea, and I put it on this little toy tape recorder rig, and I come back the next day. And they say, well, what are you doing here? And I say, well, you wanted a tune, right? They said, well, are you finished with it already? I said, yeah. They go, we just gave you that yesterday. And I said, well, you know, you're forgetting something. I was a sweat hog. And you gotta sing on the songs. Welcome back. The dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead you back here where we need you? Yeah, we tease you a lot, 'cause we got it on the spot. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We always could spot a friend. Welcome back, and I smile when I think how you must have been. And I know what a scene you were learning in. Was there something that made you come back again? What could ever lead you? Back here where we need you. Where we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, we tease him a lot. back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, I don't want to give you the impression that I wrote everything that the Spoonful came out with, even though my name's on most of that stuff. One of the hidden realities of this was Zal Yanofsky, he didn't want to write songs. He felt that writing songs was too heart on your sleeve kind of that singer-songwriter vibe not good. When I started writing things like Darling Be Home Soon, he was going, no, we gotta do. That was really Zal's vibe. But the fact was, he would suggest ideas that would be so good that I'd be forced to write something. Now, he'd come up with something like, oh, John, like nobody's writing like Huey Piano Smith tunes. Why don't you do that? I go, yeah, that's a good idea. You mean like, right? That Huey Piano Smith was always, don't you just know it? Hey, oh. Gooba, 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 gooba. And he said, yeah, but here's the thing, John. Now, I've been doing a lot of these guitar breaks on our songs, and I'm starting to feel like they're going to know from tune to tune who we are. This was one of this is contrary to normal operational situations, because this is true. We really were in this game where we wanted. This is as a result of coming from this background where, if you recall, during the really early 60s, if you heard a tune that was successful, man, that next song was going to sound just like it. If it was, the next song would be, it really was that way. And one of our little goals that we had was we wanted to sound like a different band every song, or every single, because that was the game. So Zal said, no, this time you got to do the guitar break. And I go, Zal, I can't do any of that, any of that stuff. I'm really not comfortable up above the 3rd fret, so no. He says, no, but we're not going to do the weenie thing. We're going to do... We're going to do like, how about like Dave Van Ronk? How about like St. Louis Tickle? And I go, Zal, that's really hard to play. He goes, yeah, but you know it, don't you? I said, well, it's something like a... That was the plan, and this is what came out. out was, did you ever have to make up your mind and pick up on one and leave the other behind? It's not often easy and not often kind. Did you ever have to make up your mind? Did you ever have to find a side and say yes to one and let the other one ride? There's so many changes and tears you must hide. Did you ever have to find a new side? Sometimes there's one with big blue eyes, cute as a bunny, with hair down here and plenty of money. And just when you think that she's that one in the world, your heart gets stolen by some lousy little girl. Then you know you better make up your mind and pick up on one and leave the other behind. It's not often easy and not often kind. Did you ever have to make up your mind? Sometimes you really dig a girl the moment you kissed her. Then you get distracted by her older sister. When it walks her father and takes you in line and says you better go home, son, and make up your mind. And you bet you better make up your mind and pick up on one and leave the other behind. It's not often easy and not often kind. Did you ever have to make up your mind? So there's a couple of tunes that have come about over the years that I was delighted when I first met Paul, Rishel, and Annie Raines. I just knew they could fit into this. Matter of fact, before I knew them as a couple, I just knew them as a cassette. That's true. I was given this cassette, and actually my road manager at the time had a blues pal, big like nut, who would find these obscure records, and inevitably there was something really interesting. But he hands me this cassette and says, yeah, give a listen to this Paul Rishel guy. I listened. I listened to the whole album. Then I listened to it again. And then I turned to my road manager and I said, so this guy is dead, right? Because I'm just not used to the guys that are that good being alive. That's part of it. Well, I went home and I'm lying in bed, and my wife, this is what comes of being together 50 years. She looks at me and goes, what's the matter? And I'm like, all I'm doing is lying looking at the ceiling. I said, you know, I heard this guy, and he's got some great harmonica players with him. Really, yeah. Yeah, I think he's got, like, it sounds like he's got one, like, huge fat guy. You know, one of these guys with the pork pie hat. Just like, and then he has kind of like a lyrical harmonica player who sounds sort of like the old jug band guys. And And then there's just sort of a unique player there that I can't put my finger on. Of course, these all turned out to be Annie Raines. I'm just wondering if you guys are close by. I can't see the edges of the room here, but maybe we could invite Paul Rishel and Annie Raines up here. And while they're making their way up here, I'm gonna tell you a little story. So the Spoonful got the best job in the world, opening for the Supremes. Middle 60s. And we go out on this tour all summer, all the South, and it was just such a transfixing experience. We had never really traveled the South to any extent. But luckily we had help along the way. We had the Motown Band. And we're all traveling by bus through the South. Now, this is not the Kenny Chesney model tour bus. This is a big orange school bus. But we're doing fine. I mean, there are problems. You finish a gig and sometimes you have to get back in the bus. At least you have time to change or something. On this one particular night, this old horn player, who's been our guru through this whole strange trip, said, now tonight, we finished the show. I want you to get back on the bus. Don't change your clothes. Don't be talking to the pretty girls. Get right back on the bus. Whoa. So we do it. Finish the show, sweating like crazy. I mean, if you don't sweat crazy opening for the Supremes, you're not alive. So we would just want to really do it every night because both the Supremes and the Spoonful were both looking for each other's audiences, you see. And that was what was going on. But here we are, we're getting on the bus, and we're really stinky, like I say, no clothes changes, and that was kind of the polyester era, so, it was gonna be iffy almost no matter what. And there was this moment, and this was a few days later, when we're broke down, and Yanofsky is we're like sitting on the bumper and we're talking, and Yanofsky goes, now you gotta shape up, John. This thing, I don't know what's happened to you, but I don't know, you're turning into a wimp. We gotta write some cool stuff. We gotta write some straight 8 material. What straight 8 mean? Like that? You mean like baby? Yeah, that's right. Baby love. I go, oh, so you'd like me to just kind of write a Holland Dozier and Holland tune? Yeah, that's it. I'm going to interrupt this story to tell you another short story. And this one happens in, what was it? In 1999, I get a call from Paul Schaefer to come and attend the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and play with the staple singers. Nothing could have ever been more exciting. I didn't tell them how much I would have paid to do this gig. But we get there and we meet we meet everybody, and Pops is so beautiful, and you know that. I just wanted to be their harmonica player forever. Until Paul makes his way over to my table. By this time I'm inside now. It's me and Mary Wilson sitting together. And yeah, that's right. And we've got this rehearsal going on. Now, one of the acts was Diana Ross, because Diana had just done the Billie Holiday movie and it had this big success. And so when it was her turn, now this is still his dress rehearsal, that doesn't matter. Miss Ross comes out looking divine. She looks unbelievable. She's got the, what do they call that, jet? Black, it's a black glass, it's cloth with black glass on it, so that it's like 20 disco balls. It just reflects all over the room. And she sings beautifully, and she's got the gardenia and the whole thing. And she's beautifully all made up, and she does the tune, and the lights come up, and you know, guys start maneuvering around her because this is dress rehearsal. So they're patting her down and they're adjusting lights and so on. While this is all going, I notice that Diana is scanning the crowd. And she goes from one side of the room to the other and back again and settles on my table and points at me and says, "Didn't I sleep with you in a school bus in Alabama?" What a day for a daydream. What a day for a daydreaming boy. And I'm lost in a daydream. The time ain't really on my side. It's one of those days for taking a walk outside. I want the day to take a walk in the sun and follow my face on somebody's new moon. I've been having a smell that party. I've been dreaming since I woke up today. It's irony and my sweet dream, 'cause she's the one that we feel this way. And you can be sure that if you're feeling right, a day will last long into the night. Tomorrow at breakfast you may pick up your ears, or you may be daydreaming for 1,000 years. lost in a daydream, dreaming about my bundle of joy. We had an amazing experience together, the three of us. And it started when a friend of ours, a guitarist, young woman, stopped by one of our sessions when we were making these jug band albums, and called the next day to say, man, that was so cool, and you know, you had that mandolin thing going, and I said, well, you know, we tried to do it, but of course, you know, this ain't Yank Rishel, using this as a superlative. And this young woman said, oh yeah, Yank Rishel, man, he taught me a lot of guitar. And I remember thinking, how is this possible? Because Sleepy John Estes is playing with Yank and Sonny Boy, #1, and occasionally other guys, but that's the center of this jug band. He can't be alive. I guess one of the reasons was I assumed that he'd start going on the road with a jug band when we were maybe 18. Years later, I found out that Sleepy John had gone and talked his parents into letting him go when he was like 12, because he was a genius mandolin player. He just had some amazing qualities. But we got to go and play with Yank in Indianapolis, where he had his newly adopted home. He left Brownsville, Tennessee, an inconvenient evening of playing music. I shouldn't be laughing, his partner got lynched. But that's what made him leave Indianapolis. And that may be what gave us this the possibility of getting to play with him. And I remember there was this evening when we'd run through just about everything we could think of. Let me just change guitars here.
Why do you need two?
So we got together in this wonderfully ancient studio. What had it been for a studio? It was some kind of, it was religious, but I just don't remember what the denomination was. But it was this wonderful echoey hall. And we realized that Yank was going to have to climb some stairs if we weren't careful. So there happened to be this sort of ceremonial chair in one corner that we got Yank to sit in, and we carried the chair up a flight of stairs to the studio. We got in there, and we're doing everything we can think of, especially things that Yank did already know. So we're doing stuff like, this is a tune that actually ended up on the first Spoonful record, because we heard, it went, now listen here people, I'm about to sing my song. See, I'm going to St. Louis, and I won't be long. 'cause I'm wild about my loving. I like to have my fun. If you want to be a girl of mine, you got to bring it with you when you come. This is so nice, let's keep playing. You know, my old cat, she swallowed a ball of yarn when their kittens was born. They had sweaters on. Yes, I'm wild about my love. I like to have my fun. If you want to be a girl of mine, you got to bring it with you when you come. How about it, Paul? Can I drop it to you? Chief of police, the women around here won't let me see no peace, 'cause I'm wild about my loving. I like to have my fun. If you want to be a girl of mine, you got to bring it with you when you come. Listen here, people, I'm just sing my song. Going to St. Louis, and I won't be long, 'cause I'm wild about my loving. I like to have my fun. Every girl of mine, you got to bring it with you when you come. It just feels really good to be on stage with people who you can just throw tunes at and feel like it's going to work. Well, so we had just completed this tune, right? My recollection is, and Yank was kind of, you know, it takes some energy for a guy. What was he, 85 at least, like that? And so he sort of having a little senior moment, kind of looking down, and Fritz Richmond, who was our jug player and is the historically marvelous jug player from, I guess, originally Newton, but Cambridge was his where we all got to hear him play. But he was also the historian for the band, and all of a sudden he goes, well, wasn't that, who was it? It was, Jim, wasn't that a Jim Jackson tune? And Yank kind of snaps up to attention. He goes, Jim Jackson? Well, that man was a snake. That's right. He stole my woman 2 times. Oh, now we're feeling like, oh man, we're bombing, we're getting, couldn't we just keep our mouths shut? No, we had to talk. But Yank recovers really, really quickly. He goes, y'all know tapping that thing? I remember looking at each other, we go, and then we have to turn back to Yank and go, no, Yank, we don't know tapping that thing. Well, he looks at us kind of disgusted. He goes, well, it's in G. Tapping that thing is easy to do. You got that thing for your particular use. Tap that thing. Tap that thing. Every morning ain't you can hear me tapping that thing. You know, tapping in the morning, I was tapping at night. Oh, tap that thing. Tap it just right. Tap that thing. Tap that thing. Every morning ain't you can hear me tapping that thing. Well, Yankee's going along on this tune and we're getting kind of excited, and so every time he says tap that thing, we go, tap that thing. No, Yank goes, no, y'all don't say tap that thing. I say tap that thing. You all say, great God Almighty. I woke up in the morning, I was feeling kind of bad. I tapped that thing, tap that thing, great God Almighty. Great God Almighty. Every morning ain't you can hear me tapping that thing. All right, let's tap that thing. Folks, thank you so much for filling the joint this evening. And thank you, Paul and Annie. You always make it special. Thank you all.
Rishel, and John Sebastian.
And I already am standing up.
Laugh about our funny little ways while we have a few minutes to breathe. And I know that it's time you must leave, but darling, be home soon. I couldn't bear to wait an extra minute. If you double, my darling, be home soon. It's not just these few hours, but I've been waiting since I toppled for the great relief of having you to talk to. And now a quarter of my life is almost past. I think I come to see myself at last. And I see that the time's been confused was the time that I spent without you. And I feel myself in blue. So darling, just darling, be home soon. I couldn't bear to wait an extra minute. If you double, my darling, be home soon. It's not just these few hours, but I've been waiting since I toppled for the great relief of having you to talk to. Just darling, be home soon. I couldn't bear to wait an extra minute. If you double, my darling, be home soon. It's not just these few hours, but I've been waiting since I toppled for the great relief of having you to talk to. Call Rishel, Andy Raines, our orchestra. Thank you so much for coming out to hear live music. And thanks to the big ball